cultural framework we live within is a positive one. Positive all the way. Super, super positive, and it's completely unnuanced in that respect. It's like a load of polystyrene beads. You've seen one, you've seen them all. That's how it is with positive reality. Even though it's hard to appreciate, very hard to appreciate just what exactly positive reality is. One way to get at this maybe is to look at it in terms of religion. What we know is a positive religion. Christianity is a positive religion, as are all the Abrahamic religions. They're all positive. And to understand what is meant by this, the best thing to do is look at a negative religion. And we could say, even though it's not something that generally is said, that Hinduism is a negative religion. And obviously by that I don't mean negative in this kind of some childish popular sense of it's a bad thing. I don't mean that. What I mean is that within Hinduism there isn't this great necessity to worship the Creator. And anyone who's ever listened to a sermon, anyone who's ever been to Sunday school, everyone who's ever been to church, knows that this is what Christianity is really big on. Praising the Creator. And that makes sense to us because to create the universe, to create the whole of everything, just like that, ex nihilo, just to kind of, there you go, create the universe, seems to us to be the most awesome thing there is. There's nothing more impressive than that. That's ultimate kudos. Hey, you just created the universe. Far out, man. You're cool. Or not really cool, because we're talking in terms of worship and prostrating ourselves and repetitively saying how grateful we are for being created, which is, when you think about it, an utterly absurd thing. So the fascinating thing is that in Hinduism, the Creator is not praised, is not worshipped. There's no cults. There are groups of people who worship Brahma, the Creator. That's not how it's done with Brahma. And we find this explained in Hinduism, that Brahma isn't really worthy of worship, even though he created the universe. I mean, Brahma is the creator. He did create the universe. He breathed out. He had an exhalation. He exhaled the universe. Later on, he'll breathe it back in again. But even so, you don't worship Brahma. Brahma isn't worshipped. So the question is, why not? Is this an example of indifference, taking stuff for granted? Brahma made the universe and we don't even care because we're so much taking it for granted? Or is it disdain? What is it? And Brahma, the creator, isn't worshipped, but Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer, are. And so that's especially interesting. Why does Shiva, the destroyer, get worshipped instead of Brahma, the creator? That seems back to front to us. But of course, that's the key to the whole thing. That is the absolute nub of it. When Shiva destroys the world or destroys forms, annihilates forms, he's removing, he's revealing reality, he's removing a false reality. Now we happen to be totally identified with that false reality, and which means that we will oppose it with everything we've got. And when the time comes, because Shiva is always going to do his thing, he's always going to destroy all forms. That's the destiny of every form, is to be destroyed by Shiva. And so when we come to that bit, it's the worst thing in the world. We certainly aren't going to praise Shiva for destroying us or for being the destroyer. In the West, we're not, because we're all about the Creator. Now the thing is, in the Hindu cosmology, there isn't this situation where there is nothing and then God suddenly comes and creates the universe and then later destroys it and judges everyone as to how well they've done. There isn't that. The existence is eternal. It's not subject to time. Existence or reality, existence isn't quite the right word because we're implying that there is something that exists and that there is a thing called existing, which there isn't. But reality is neither created nor destroyed. The subtle reality that lies behind all things. And everything that does come along is more in the way of a show, a display, a series of conjuring tricks. As anyone who is familiar with Eastern systems of metaphysics will understand. What's created is illusion, what's created is Maya. And the Maya traps our awareness in it because it's so sticky. Maya is sticky. We get attached to it. We either see stuff that we're really attracted to or stuff that we're really avoidant of, and both attraction and avoidance are stickiness. We stick to the illusion like glue. We have no more attention, awareness free to look beyond it. So that means that our whole existence has become illusion. Our whole existence has become um, a show, which isn't really real. It's a produced thing. The show is produced, and the fact that it's produced means that it isn't the real deal. The real deal, because we're fixated upon what is being produced, the conjurer's trick, we don't see what lies behind all of that. So we're short-sightedly obsessed with doing well in terms of the illusion and gaining euphoria instead of incurring dysphoria. This is the game we want to get. We want to get pleasure more than we get pain within the terms of the illusion, within the terms of Maya, within the terms of illusory existence. But the problem is that's never going to happen because there can never be any net positive, net worthwhile outcome out of illusion. There can be apparent positive outcomes, as in a dream, where something wonderful might happen, and there can be negative outcomes in the illusion realm because we can also have bad dreams. But outside of the dream, in reality itself, it's not a question of good things and bad things, because good things and bad things happen to the point of view, the arbitrary point of view that we have assumed, which isn't by any means any more than just one more way of looking at the world. It's a way of looking at the world in which we pick a viewpoint as being special and as being superior and more valid to all others, which gives us a black and white picture according to that viewpoint. And then we play the game of black and white, as Alan Watts says. Once we've assumed that position, once we've assumed this framework, we live in the black and white world of right and wrong. Take away that point of reference, and of course, there's no right and wrong. There's nothing. You need a point of reference to have right and to have wrong. It's right for what? It's wrong for what? There is no what. There never was a what, and there never was a right, and there never was a wrong. But within the terms of the game that we're playing, there isn't a right there is a right and there is a wrong, and within the terms of the game we're playing, there is no game. This is actual reality. The illusion realm is reality. So the thing that Brahma creates is the ultimate reality for us. And so when the time comes for this ultimate reality to be torn asunder, to disintegrate, this is our nightmare. This is the very worst thing. This is terrible. So we've got it back to front, basically, is what I'm trying to say. We're saying that the production of an illusion, which prevents us from seeing reality and occludes that reality and alienates us from that reality, is a super good thing. And it's all like, yay. Isn't it great that there is this illusion that's been created especially for us that completely occludes reality and causes us to stay in a kind of perpetual state of this kind of attachment or grasping or fearfulness or petty-mindedness, however you'd like to say it. Everything small comes out of that. Nothing big comes out of it. No larger scope of perspective. Just constant obsessive jockeying for advantage that will ultimately never come. That's the life of the rational ego. And so our way of looking at things is perverse, is what I'm coming to. It's perverse. The other way of looking at it is to acknowledge that that this is the game, this is the story, this is the adventure. We're stuck in the illusion realm, stuck trying to find meaning in it, build our lives within it, as if we could do any of those things. And we want to preserve it forever. We want to live forever, like the high street evangelists say, eternal life, live forever. That's the hook. That's supposed. Live forever as what? Uh, a deluded being within the illusion realm that is constantly trying to obtain something that never can be obtained, i.e., reality. That's the story that we're supposed to be thankful for. Only, of course, being thankful for it means that we don't see that it's all a con job. We don't see that what we're being offered is a lie. We don't see that it's impossible to do what we've set our hearts on doing, which is finding fulfillment on the terms of illusion, on the terms of something that isn't really there. If we looked at it closely enough, if there's nothing there, I can't find fulfillment in terms of it, basically. But when we do start getting wiser, when we start to wise up, we realize that our way of looking at things is perverse. And then when the activity of Shiva appears, we won't be quite so desolate because we'll realize that Shiva the Destroyer is there to free us if only we could see it.